All right, we have got a very functional rig. You could animate with this right now and you'd be good to go. We have IKFK arms, we have switches going on with pull vectors, we've got a reverse foot. Um, that is just awesome, and just all the control that you could really want to do some, basic animation, walk, cycle, run, some general things like that, which is pretty great. So the last thing we're going to cover for this rig is we're going to make some blend shapes. So Maya's come a long way with its blend shapes, which is great. So we're going to set up some blend shapes so that we can get Patrick here to smile. And in order to do that, we're going to use the shape editor. And we're going to be using our sculpting tools. So if you go under your sculpting tab, we'll mostly be using like this guy. But you can move it poly or vertex by vertex if you really wanted to, and that would be fine as well. Now, one thing that I noticed, and I should have checked this much earlier, but if I actually go to my sculpting tool with that, I get this error. It says sculpting cannot be performed on non-manifold geometry and to perform a cleanup. So if I select this, I need to go up to my modeling tab or modeling menu set, and you can go to, I think it's under mesh, and there's this cleanup. And if you go to the option box in cleanup, you can come down and all we're going to select is just this non-manifold geometry, just this. Okay, we can do this and it won't affect anything else. We're not going to worry about any of this other stuff, just what we have to fix to get this to the point to where we can do some sculpting on it. So we're just going to click apply, and that should take care of it. Now, if I go to my sculpt tool, I don't get anything that's telling me I can't do it, so which is great. Okay, and that didn't destroy our ooh, didn't destroy any of our skin weights. So you have to be really careful when you're cleaning history up on your model, because it's real easy to accidentally delete your skin weight information, and that is a terrible thing to have happen to you. So we want to start making some blend shapes. So now that we have that set up, we can select our model, and we're going to go um, up to Windows and Animation Editors, and there's this Shape Editor. That will pull up this screen here. So what we have to do is we need to create a blend shape, and then we've got to create targets. So with the model selected, we will select Create Blend Shape. And there it is. And it creates this, okay? Right now it's on and it's off, but it's basically just kind of loaded this model into it. We need to add some targets. So we're going to add a target right here. And we're going to call the blend shape mouth shapes. Okay. And then, like so many things, we're going to focus on a left mouth um, in, out, or we'll just call left mouth out. And then we'll create another target that we'll call a left mouth up. Okay. And you can see right here with these two shapes, I have this edit axis. So if I go here and I click this edit, I'm now editing on here. And they have full weight, but since I haven't done anything, there is no influence that is happening. We need to be very careful that we are editing on the thing that we want. So we're going to have his mouth come out, and we'll create a blend shape that just goes out and to the side, and one that goes just straight up. And that way we can get a blend between the two that will give us a smile. And then we can do the same thing with the up and the down. The great thing about this is that you can create these blend shapes and work on them while your character is posed, which is so great. So we could even open the mouth a little bit and start editing on this. So if we go up and we just grab our tool, it's just like all the other tools. So if we hit B, it's gonna, we can hold B and just left click out and in to kind of move that out to a size that we want. So we want to move this out this way, but when we move out, we're really kind of moving back a little bit here. So with this, we can grab and we can kind of just start pulling all of this back, and we just want to start shaping it. And we're kind of pulling straight back. And like this. It's just going to move it tighter together. Yeah. So I'm going to do this really rough because it just takes time. You know, you have to sculpt it, and that is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And maybe as that comes out sideways, maybe this comes out a little more this way. Kind of creates more of that crease as the skin kind of bunches up. Okay, so let's pretend that we're really happy with this shape. We're not, but we're going to pretend. We're good at pretending, right? Okay. So we have this, and that kind of creates that kind of shape there. That is kind of pulling everything back. And you can smooth it and relax things, and by holding your shift key, it will go to kind of a smooth. You might need to go into the mouth to do that, but now we can kind of see what that shape is doing. So it's pulling it out. Kind of in that, and then we can keep editing that and being like, oh, I want this to pull over with it too. The whole mouth should be moving. Maybe it flattens as it goes back. We're going to move all of these out. So yeah, you can keep doing that, and that's great. And we can see, how it looks with the mouth open or closed. So we have this. It's created that, and we get this nice out, and we can see how it looks like in this other view. Okay, so we'll turn that one off, and we're going to edit our left up mouth. So now we'll go here, and we're going to take our control. Maybe I'll open the mouth up just a little bit so I can see a little bit of the inside. And now I'm just focusing on moving that just up. So it's going to come up, just kind of straight up. Maybe I'll make my brush a little bigger. we're going to move that a lot up. Okay, and this is coming up, and maybe as this is coming out, this is coming out, as it's bunching up the skin, and yeah. So yeah, you get kind of the idea where now you're just sculpting and moving this all up in this kind of almost creepy manner. All right, we'll say that's good. Maybe we're not happy with it, but for demonstration purposes, this is working. Okay, and maybe that comes up a little, and we start getting a lot more of this going up with it. Okay, and we can kind of see what it's doing. And maybe we smooth it. Okay, so yeah, now we have it. Now if we play both of these together, we can start getting a real smile. And then there's some back and forth that you can do to really make sure that we're getting it exactly how we like it. As we see, we're getting some geometry that's kind of poking through. That's not so fun as these two come together. So, but at this point, you just have to really pay attention to what you're editing. So right now I'm on my left up, and I may be thinking, oh, I'm doing all this stuff on my out, and I'm moving stuff out when really I'm actually editing my up. So I want to make sure that my up, if I'm editing the up, and getting that moving up maybe a little bit more, right? As that is. And yeah. So yeah, you can see we can get some nice stuff here. And then of course we need to do it on our other side. So the nice thing with the shape editor is we can get a lot of those things for free. So we can choose this and we can go to, let's see, we can mirror our target or flip our target, which is awesome. So we're going to duplicate our target. So here it is. Now we've got it twice, but now we can take this and we're going to mirror the target, and we'll just make sure that we're mirroring in the negative X, so this is the positive side, and we're going to the negative side on our object X, which is what we'd like. So we click apply, and now there it is. So I have mirrored it, but what I should have done is flipped it. So let me just undo that. There we go. So we'll take this and we're going to duplicate the target, and then we're going to flip it. Okay, and we want to do object X. So now we're not mirroring it, so it's happening on both sides. We just want it on the other. So we click apply, and now we have it moving on the other side. And we get our right side for free. right. And then we need our out. So we'll select that target and go shapes. We're going to duplicate it. There's our out. We can move it down there. And then we're going to do the same thing, and we are going to flip that. So now we got it on both sides. And there we go. Now we have him kind of smiling a little bit. And we can adjust that. So that's the nice thing. So we have all this. Now, of course, we don't want to just, we can't go into our shape editor all the time to control this. We want to add functionality to our rig. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go in and we're going to add some attributes, okay, that are basically going to mirror these, that are going to give us all the control that we want. All right, so we are going to go on our jaw control and do edit and add attribute. And we're going to do just separate attributes, one for each of these. And they will be float values. And we will say left mouth up. And we will give it a maximum value of 10. And we'll keep the minimum at 0. Okay, and we will add that. And then we're going to do our left mouth out. And we're going to do the same thing. Minimum value 0, maximum 10. And we will add that. And then we're going to make the right one. So our right mouth up. Oh, whoops. There we go. I lost it. Right mouth up with a minimum of 0 and a maximum of 10. Now, if we were going all out and doing a whole lot more, we could make him frown. And we could control the frown by just making the right mouth be up and down. And then the 1 would control 2 of the attributes here. We could do the same thing with like an in and an out with our out attribute. But we're just keeping it pretty simple here. All right, and then we're going to go right mouth out. Again, same thing, minimum 0, maximum of 10, and we will add that. So now we're just going to set up a set driven key to control this mouth shape. So we know the name is mouth shapes. And if we copy that, we can come up here and click this, and we get these 3 XYZ values. And if we choose the little crosshairs, we can change that to select by name. And we can actually go in here and paste that, and now we have this, and we want to control all of these. We're going to do edit and set driven key. So now we have our mouth shapes loaded. These are the mouth shapes we want to control. And then we're going to set everything to 0 for right now. And we're going to load our driver, which is our jaw control. And we're going to have our left mouth up is going to control our left mouth up. So we will key that. And then I will just do the left mouth out, and key that. And then my right mouth up to the right mouth up copy, which I guess I should have changed the name there, but it's okay. And we'll key that. And the right mouth out to oh, I forgot to rename that one, to left mouth out copy, and we'll key that. I'm going to change the name. So we have that. And now we're just going to set everything to a value of 10 on our driver. And then we're going to go through and do the same thing, right mouth out to the right mouth out blend shape. And we're just going to turn all of these up to 1. Just like that. And we will key that, and then the right mouth. Oh, I might have to reload this. Here we go. Load driven. There we go. Right mouth out. Now we can key that. And the up, right mouth up to up, we'll key that. Left mouth out to left mouth out. Key that. Left mouth up to left mouth up. And we'll key that. Okay, so now I should be able to just control these individually. You can see that is exactly what's happening. A lot of great things that you can do with blend shapes. We are doing this, but you could also sculpt a blend shape where, let's say, a corrective blend shape where when the mouth is more open like this, we want the cheeks to come in. Okay, so we could sculpt that and just use our sculpting tool like this. And then if we go to our tool settings, we can actually just go in and say we want symmetry on object X. And then whatever we did on one side, it would do to the other, which right now I don't have a target on. But if I added a target here, I could be like, hey, I want this to come in like that on this blend shape, whatever that is. And then we could set that up to be driven by like the jaw. When the jaw rotate X goes so far, it turns this on. And that's how you get these like corrective blend shapes where your joints aren't giving you quite the right shape that you're wanting. You can go in and sculpt a shape that will just influence things exactly how you want without having to add like a ton of joints. So don't need that, so we'll just delete it. But I just want to show you kind of the power that you have with blend shapes and the shape editor. Because the great thing is you can pose your character and you can still go in and edit the shapes that you want here. And before, they had the wonderful shape editor. You would have to go in and duplicate your mesh out, and you'd have to set up all these connections. You'd be sculpting on a different model, and then you'd be flipping it back on and off and going back and forth, and then you'd have to turn on multiple ones to kind of see how it was going, and it's just a lot better now. So shape editor, it's wonderful. Okay, so that's what we want to do. So we want to create those. So we're breaking up the motion of a smile in the different ways that your mouth would move so that we could use those for different reasons and for different things. So different muscles do different stuff. We're going to zero these all out like that. And then we can move our if we just want to move it out, or maybe we want to move it just a tiny bit up in the corners like that. We can certainly do that, or and then you have a lot more control over how things are going to move as an animator. So yeah, that's it. we're going to set those up. But that's it. That gives you kind of your first real rig. So congratulations. In the next video, we're just going to go through and we're going to do the last final touches of cleaning up everything on our rig and making sure that we are all ready, 100% ready to hand this off to an animator to start animating. I hope that helps. See you later in the next one.